Today we're going on a day trip by taking the train all the way to north of Budapest, where there is a small town on the shores of the Danube River, which is often overlooked by many visitors of Hungary. However, it has some interesting history, some old cute houses, a laid-back atmosphere, and a wonderful shoreline along the Danube River. So today, let's visit Vác, and let's make sure that by the end of this video, you will also want to put this on your itinerary. Let's go! So first things first, we gotta get ourselves some tickets, and normally we usually do that through our phones or on the official website, for which we're gonna leave some links down in the description. Hope you can hear me over the announcer's voice, but nevertheless today we're gonna show you how you can get your tickets from the ticket vending machines themselves. You can buy tickets to different vehicles like domestic buses as well, but here we select trains only, and when you want to search for your destination, the popular stations will be already highlighted, but you can also use the keyboard for searching. If you know when you want to come back, you can also select the round trip option, but as we didn't know when we will return, we selected the one-way option for now. When selecting the trains, always check the travel times, as some trains may have more stops or longer distance, which leads to longer travel time. And away we go! Also, since these trains do not require seat reservation, there are no tickets for that, which also means that people aged 65 years or older do not need to visit these vending machines at all. They travel for free. Seniors only need to purchase seat reservation on the longer distance trains or where it's applicable, so that's good to remember for seniors. But now, it's time to get to Vác. Right after getting off the train, we are already greeted by the first attraction here in Vác. This is a mini statue by Kolodko, and you may have heard about his name because he has a lot of mini statues spread across all over Budapest, and you can technically do like a scavenger hunt to find them. Here in Vác we have 3 of his statues. This is the first one, and no wonder this is here at the train station. You can see a small dog with a chicken, and this is a reference to a poem by the popular poet and also historic figure from the Revolution and War for Independence in 1848-49, Sándor Petőfi. He wrote a poem when he came here to Vác, which was titled as Az anyám tyúkja, which was about morzsa, or breadcrumb, the dog, and the chicken, the only chicken his mother had. So that's why you can find this here commemorating the important poet's arrival to Vác. But we will find 2 more here in the city. However, first, as we're gonna head in, we're gonna try to get a coffee. Hello. We have met a new friend. Yeah. Finally, some coffee to start the day, and also we have a bit of sweet as well. Excellent. Lovely weather, and apparently today there is a flea market here. One of the words that we have for it is bolhapiac, which literally means flea market, but the other thing that we usually say for this is zsibvásár, where people are selling some of their old goods that they don't want. And we didn't know that this program is here today. Today is, by the way, Whit Sunday, which means that convenience stores and shops are generally closed. But as you can see, there's life here, there's life in Hungary, even on these holidays as well. By the way, this town is one of the oldest towns here in Hungary. In fact, the first written mentions of Vác date back to about 1074, but even through some excavations, they have found some evidence that even before Roman times there were settlements here in this area. However, even if this town has a long history, it was a turbulent one. First, there was the Mongolian invasion, which devastated Hungary, but also this town as well. Some German settlers were brought in to revitalize and repopulate Vác. However, the Ottoman wars between the Ottoman Empire and the Habsburgs also had many battles here which devastated the city. And after that, the Revolution War for Independence in 1848-49 also had a few battles here, which again devastated Vác. This, what you can see here, is a result of constant back and forth between destruction and rebuild. But today, as you can see, this town is flourishing, it's lively, colorful, and really nice and peaceful. Now, because of these regular destructions, oftentimes parts of some of the buildings that became ruins were forgotten. And these were then later on discovered when there were some major restorations and renovations. For example, when they renovated this church behind me, they actually found a crypt that was sealed off for more than 200 years. And when they found it, they found something remarkable. And today, you can see those here in the museum. So let's go and check that out. In that forgotten crypt, they discovered more than 260 beautifully painted coffins. Because of the special climate inside, many of the bodies in those coffins had naturally mummified. Along with the bodies, they also found their belongings and the documents detailing who those people were. These papers and belongings preserved a rare glimpse into the lives, clothes, illnesses, and beliefs of the 18th century townspeople of Vác. You can see 3 mummies on display when you visit, but due to respect, it is not allowed to take footage of them. However, I can tell you that it was both an eerie yet also very fascinating experience to see the remains of those people from the past. Now, right at the corner of the Old Town Square, you can find the next Kolodko mini statue, which is titled as Csúszli, which translates into English as slingshot. You can see this little character here with a slingshot, but what does it all mean? Well, it's related to the shape of this unique Baroque Old Town Square, because this is basically the only Old Town Square here in Hungary that is shaped as a triangle. And if you look at the slingshot's shape, it is also like a triangle. If you look here, you can basically use this as sort of like a reference point for how this triangle-shaped square is looking like. Very interesting.
Show it again.
And to find the third Kolodko statue, we need to leave the center a little bit. Just outside of here, there's gonna be the third one. However, here you can see the Vienna gate, because the road from here used to lead to Vienna. That may be a clue to who we're gonna find at our next spot and who's gonna be there as the next and third Kolodko statue. So just a short walk from the city center, you can find the only Arch of Triumph here in Hungary. And this was actually built in honor of Maria Theresia, who was the Emperor of Austria, the Habsburg Empire, and also the Queen of Hungary. And she's here as a Kolodko mini statue. Now, apparently when she was visiting Hungary in honor of her, they've built this arch, but only in 2 weeks, which is a really short time frame. And as she was going through Vác, she saw the Arch of Triumph here, but she was afraid to go through it, because can you really build something really strong in 2 weeks? She was way too afraid, so she didn't go through it. However, 2 weeks later, when she was coming back, the arch was still here, and that proven to her that the Hungarians in 2 weeks can build something strong. And then she passed through right under it. And in honor of this historical legend, she is here as a Kolodko mini statue. And now we're gonna head back to the city center here on the Danube shores, and we're gonna check on our phones which place we would like to eat at. And as I have said, we use our phones in a lot of different ways, like getting our public transport tickets, translate anything, find places and interesting spots wherever we go, and we can recommend for you to do the same. However, if you're coming from outside of the EU, then your roaming charges can stack up quite easily. However, thanks to the partner of this video, Saily, there may be an easy and affordable solution for you. Saily offers affordable data plans in over 200 destinations worldwide, which is also including Hungary. You just download the app, select the data plan that you need, and when you arrive, the data will be there and you can use it on your phone. And right now there is a 15% discount if you use my code StuffedCabbage. You can check out the QR code here on the screen to make things more easier, but nevertheless, thanks to Saily for sponsoring this video. And now, let's get back to more Vác adventures. Woo! Now, as you walk on the shores of the Danube River, you can find the remnants of the old city walls. And as you walk across Vác, you can find bits and pieces of this old wall. However, this one here is probably the most eye-catching because you can see an old tower that used to belong to that wall. But today, instead of it being just like a part of the wall and the remnant, it has become part of a house, of somebody's home. How cool is that? Now, so far today we talked a lot about the history of Vác, but we haven't talked about the name, and it has an interesting background. While there are multiple theories of where it may have come from, one thing is for sure, it may have come from a person. People just don't agree who that person may have been. But there is a very interesting legend. Now, there was a time in Hungarian history when there were multiple heirs to the Hungarian throne who fought battles against each other. One of those battles were actually nearby. Géza went into a forest where apparently a very wise hermit was who shared his wisdom. Now, after the battles, Géza, the next king of Hungary who has won, in respect of this person and honoring this hermit, named Vác after him, because the legend says the wise hermit living in the forest was named Vác. And here we actually have the Remete pince. No wonder this is a connection to this, because Remete means hermit. However, the more common thing that is more accepted is that Hungary used to have a lot of Serbian and Slavic speaking people here, and likely the name Vác comes from Slavic origins, but still there is this fun legend about the hermit who lived in the forest. Climbing up to the tower of the Cathedral of Vác is absolutely worth it. However, I do want to note that there is no elevator, so you have to take all the stairs up, but it's definitely worth it. The view there is spectacular. Seeing the Danube bend and this small and cozy town is really, really gorgeous. And also to visit the inside, I really liked it. It's simple but still very decorative. Now, another thing to note, if you do want to climb, if you do want to go up to the tower, then you either have to buy your ticket somewhere at like a tourist information spot or somewhere else, or like we did, we used our phones. There is a QR code here with the website where you can buy the ticket, and then you get a QR code in the ticket, you can scan that and then walk up to the tower. Totally worth it. The views are just spectacular here. And now we have reached the southern end of our adventures here today, and here you can see again remnants of the old wall, but these are special because these are the walls of the old castle that used to be here. And up there you can see the statue of King Géza, who, as we know from the stories, went into the forest, met up with the hermit, and then as a respect is named Vác after the hermit. He's sunbathing or praising the sun. It's a lovely day. It's very warm. By the way, this is the reason why I actually have this jersey material. And if you want to get this awesome jersey, you can do so if you go and check out some of our merch. That's one way to support us, but also a way to support your fashion. And these materials are awesome during these hot summer days. Technically, it's the end of May, not even summer, but thanks climate change. Nevertheless, if you want to support us, go and check out the link in the description. That's where you can check out some of our merch. But let's continue because I want to get some ice cream. So in the end, I think Vác has definitely proven that it is an excellent day trip destination, and we hope you guys got inspired to visit this wonderful little town. But before we close off, I just want to give a quick thanks to all of our lovely community members. And if you also want to become a community member and support us, then make sure to hit that like button and also hit the join button, because that's how you can become a member. Thank you so much to all of our lovely members. And if you don't want to miss our future videos, then definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are currently in the famous Danube Bend. If you want to visit this area, then we can also highly recommend Visegrád or Szentendre. Make sure to watch those videos next and watch out for our future videos. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye!